Yo guys, what is up? It is your boy Just Slip here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Hope everyone out there is having a great day as always. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the craziest psychedelic trip I ever had in my life. Let's go ahead and get into it right now.
How could I forget? I can't even remember. Got another package, man, I wonder who's the sender. 27 Club, got another fucking member. NBA Jam, I'm on fire from an ember.
Alright guys, so this story right here takes place a few months after the trip that I was talking about in the last video. So a few of you might not know what my last video was depending on how far in the future you're watching this video. But at the time I'd only ever tried acid twice and I'd only ever tried one tab. Keep that in mind. So on this day, it was the beginning of summer and my friends had hit me up. Now one of these friends was the guy that was actually there from the last story. He actually tripped with me for my first time. Me and him both had tried it our first time together. So he was there and some other guy joined us as well. They end up coming over to my house and we're just chilling. We're sitting around. We don't really have much to do. None of us have license or anything like that at the time. So we're just kind of just sitting around bored, not knowing what to do. They came over, we were matching and stuff, and I was telling him, I was like, yo, me and this guy just did acid not too long ago. If you want to try it, you can try it with us. We can go get some tabs right now. I'm not sure how we'd get there, though. We can see if the guy can deliver. So we end up calling up the guy, and the guy ends up telling us that he cannot deliver, unfortunately. So we're stuck in my neighborhood that is about 5 miles away, if not more. Okay, so I just looked it up right then. It is a 9-minute drive. That's 9 minutes driving in a car. We didn't have any car or anything, so I was hitting up my other friend. He lives on the other side of the neighborhood, and he had 3 bikes, luckily. So I ended up calling him up, and I was like, yo, can we please borrow your bikes? So we went over to his house, talked to him. We talked him into letting us use his bikes, which was so fucking great. Like, if we wouldn't have had bikes, we probably wouldn't have been able to do this entire journey. Because, like I said, it's a 9-minute car drive. And, you know, walking that, oof. So my friends are sitting there, they're dedicated, they're getting themselves a tab apiece, and I'm going big. I'm like, I'm going to go big or go home, you know what I mean? If I'm going to go all the way to the center of town from my neighborhood, I'm definitely going to get more than one, you know what I mean? So we end up taking off around 6:30 at night. I think that was around the time we hit up the plug and everything. We're sending him snaps the whole time, like every street corner we get to, we're sending him snaps because we knew the guy personally, like I said in the last video. So it wasn't like he was just a random plug. We knew him personally. He was a homie and stuff. So we were just sitting there talking to him like, yo, we're on the way and stuff. And he's like, hey, y'all lit. We end up making it to his house around 7:30 or 8. And I remember at the time it was already dark. It was already dark and we were in the center of town. Honestly, not the best neighborhood to be in. Definitely not the best neighborhood to be in. A lot of people have seen some crazy shit go down in that neighborhood. But nothing happened to us, so we're just chilling. Get to the guy's house. He comes out the door. He's hyping up the experience for us. You know how it goes. He's sitting there telling us, yo, y'all are freaking crazy for doing this. And we're like, yeah. Now, there's actually a park that used to be in this town that was really popular back in the day. Actually so popular now that they bought the park and moved it to a different part in the town so it would be more convenient for people to get to, and they also renamed it. Back a long time ago, back in the 70s and stuff, when people were tripping on acid and that was just first hitting the market and stuff, people were going to this park and they'd go sit at this park and trip because of all the flashing colors and stuff like that. And they'd refer to it as Acid Park. They kind of put a picture in your head. It's just a bunch of like windmills and stuff like that that move around in different ways and like have reflective lights on them and stuff like that. It's a whole park based around those trippy little things. Where they had moved this park to was right down the road from the Acid Plug's house. So I was like, yo, we got to go there. This is the original Acid Park. How fucking lit would it be to say that we dropped acid at Acid Park? You know what I mean? So we go to the park and we sit down on the benches. My friend's got his tab in his mouth already. My other friend puts his on his tongue and I'm sitting there looking at my two. I'm like, damn, I don't know if I want to save one for later or if I want to go ahead and take both of them now. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and take both of them. Let's go ahead and do it. That's what I said I was gonna do. That's why I came here. And yeah, I take the 2 tabs. We sit there for about 30 minutes. Nothing's really happening while the tab is on our tongue. We sat there for about 30 minutes and we just waited for the tabs to dissolve or whatever so we could get back on the road, back towards the house and stuff. So we ended up doing that. Talking about a long bike ride, I felt like I was running a damn marathon. Now here's where the story gets interesting because we ended up taking a stop. We ended up taking a stop at the police station just to say that we did, you know what I mean? We sat out there and chilled for just a few minutes just to be like, yo, that would be crazy if one of the cops came out or something and tried to talk to us while we're on acid. Probably something I shouldn't have said because we made it a little bit further up the road to a bread store. This was about a mile away up the road. We're chilling there and we're just taking a break. The acid just is starting to kick in. And I'm telling them like, oh fuck, like I'm unfunctionable. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make it back to the house. Body was starting to feel jittery all over and I was starting to feel super nervous in like a good way. Like I was looking around kind of skeptically smiling at everything in a weird way. This experience was completely, and I mean completely different than just one tab. When I took just one tab, it was nothing like this. Then next thing you know, cop car pulls around the back of the building and he asked us, hey, are y'all boys all right? I'm sitting there on my bike shitting a brick. Thankfully, he didn't come up to me and try to talk to me because literally I was too high. Like I probably wouldn't have been able to make sense of the words coming out of his mouth because of the state of blitz I was in off the come up of that acid. Now that might be a bit of an exaggeration because I can hold a convo on 3 tabs, but still, man, still. There's a whole combination of stuff I was in over my head. I was probably too young to be doing it, and I was definitely not in the right spot. The middle of town driving a bicycle, like what am I doing with my life? And I had a lot going on inside of my head as well, mentally, and that's why I was tripping in the first place because I wanted to kind of get over some stuff and touch down on some thought patterns and stuff like that. If you're going to try this stuff, do your own research and don't just do it because I say it's cool or whatever. Do your own research before you do anything that goes into your body. Anybody that says that, just be responsible of yourself because nobody else is. So my friend ends up talking to the cop. The cop pulls away and he says, y'all be safe. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, thank fuck he did not try to talk to me. There was no way I would have been able to talk to him. Like I said, that is a bit of an exaggeration. I probably would have been able to talk to him and he probably would have been able to understand me fine. But I feel like he would have definitely known that I was tripping because you can't hide that shit. You really can't. Your eyes are big as fuck. Your thoughts are all over the place. You feel like you want to laugh while you're talking to somebody about something serious. Yeah. We just hop up on the bikes and we don't stop pedaling until we get back to the neighborhood. We make it back to the neighborhood, and then we make it to my friend's house. We go over to his house, give him back the bikes. We didn't even knock on the door to see if he was home. We literally just put them in the shed for him and locked the shed because I wasn't really, we were like, yo, we got to get home. It was 10:30 already, and nobody knew where we were. Everyone's phone was dead at this point. They were trying to hurry up and get back to my house so they could charge their phones and call for a ride home. We walked from my friend's house back to my house, and that walk right there was like magical. Even riding through downtown on the bicycles, looking at some of the houses and stuff, I'll never be able to look at it the same because some of them houses actually look like witch huts and stuff like that. And I was like, what the hell? I can't never look at this the same now. But we make it back to my house, and I end up trying to roll a blunt. I break up the weed a little bit, and then I'm like, yo, I got to give this to you. I'm not going to be able to do it. My friend's like, I got you. I'm going to roll a blunt. We end up smoking a blunt, and then they end up coming to get picked up. Well, one of my friends ends up leaving first, and then the other one, that one that was there on the first trip, ended up staying a little bit longer and talking to me a little bit longer. So after the first friend left, me and the second friend really got into a deep conversation, just talking about life and stuff, and he was telling me, like, I know what you're going through, because he had already experienced 2 tabs, and he was like, I know what you're going through, I know what you're seeing. I wanted to explain this to people. I haven't been able to explain it. I'm glad you're seeing this. Like, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like, we're not crazy, you know what I mean? Like, we are crazy, but we're not, like, he was only off of 1 tab, so he was still pretty functionable and everything. So he ended up calling his mom to come pick him up. He ended up walking outside, and that was it. Now, I sat in that chair from the time he left till around 6 in the morning, and I was staring straight up into the ceiling. But I wasn't just seeing the ceiling. I was seeing all kinds of stuff from out of this world. Hence why I called this video what I did. I was seeing visuals of the future, genuinely, to the point to where there's a part 2 to the story. And when I was living the part 2 to this story, I was feeling extreme deja vu from this story, feeling like I was on the same exact trip as this, but it happened months later. You guys are watching this video right here. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to want to watch that one as well. That one's definitely going to be on the channel, so just make sure to go ahead and drop a like on this video if you want to see that. But all kinds of visuals I was getting, and I remember getting visuals from the beach a lot. Those were the ones that stuck in my mind a lot more than others. And this right here is actually the thought process that kind of psychotically warped my brain into making me alright with all of my flaws and stuff. So I guess this was the healthiest thing I ever done for myself. Doing drugs. Go ahead and make a separate video on that as well. One of these days it's going to be called A Little Bit of Nothing. You can find that on the channel as well if you're watching this in the future. If not, if you're watching this when it first came out, then just be patient. It will be up there soon. But yeah, that's basically just going to talk about like how everybody on this earth has just got their little own bit of nothing. Like everybody's got a little bit of nothing, and past that you really don't have anything else. So you might as well just share your nothing and try to help others create a better nothing for themselves using yourself. You know what I mean? So like everybody helps each other. I don't know. That's the way the world should work. I'm going to talk about that over there on a separate video. So like I said, just be patient for that. That will be on the channel soon. After around 6 in the morning, I went outside, rolled myself a little joint, smoked a joint and stuff. Then I went back to the house. During this trip, I had experienced my very first true ego death. Like, I lost complete sense of who I was, and it scared the living shit out of me. I was like, who is this motherfucker? I hated myself. Like, I was getting mad with myself. I was getting happy with myself. I was wondering who I was, wondering who other people were in my life. Like, questioning everything. A wise man once said, in order for one to create, he must first question everything. And that I did. After that, I went to sleep and woke up the next day, kept living life, you know what I mean? Guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Why not? Do yourself that favor. You've already watched this video this long. Go ahead and watch part 2 while you're at it. There's a part 2 to this. It's probably not out yet, but if it is, go ahead and watch it. Anyways, guys, have a great rest of your day. This has been Just Slip, and I'm out. Peace.
Drifting, cruising slow, music low. Got a couple doobies rolled. Let me see how your mind flows. Time slows, I'm low. That's why we get lifted. Breaking laws of physics, I'm gifted and prolific. All this L, I'm tripping. All these L's and I'm winning.